WCIA 3 with your hosts Glenn Kinley, Courtney Lane Brewer, and Tristan Thomas. This is the SEFCU, your Illini Nation, WCIA 3-in-1 podcast.
Hey, welcome in. Appreciate you joining us. Well, that was weird. We got a little transition there.
That was cool, actually.
Courtney and I are here with you today. A much maybe more positive, more cheerful episode than last week, right, Courtney?
We were down bad last week.
Yeah, it wasn't fun to talk about. It felt like we were being negative, but we really were just being like realist and honest. And so, but what we said was, we'll talk Illini football, start off there, then we'll probably talk a little volleyball, soccer, both in the heat of their season's conference play and everything. Not much new, I don't think, on the basketball front to discuss. We'll have more for you next week on that because we do have Media Day with Brett Underwood and Shauna Green.
Week after. Next week is Media Day.
Well, we have in-house Media Day this week.
Oh, we do?
Yes.
It's on Thursday. I won't
in
be
Champaign,
here.
yes, on your off day. But
I don't know what happens when I'm not here.
Next week we'll have more on the hoops, but we'll talk football for most of this episode. And we said last week, Courtney, it's a huge game. Like for so many reasons, besides the fact of like you want to be 4-1. It was 4-1 now.
Yeah, 4-1.
Besides that, it's just like a bounce back and getting to the point where if you don't win, you start to wonder and thoughts start to creep in and you start to say like, are we not that good? What happened? What went wrong from last year? All of these things. And if you win, it's a good USC team and you beat them and you can say, all right, we're good.
Right.
We are not the team that played in Bloomington, Indiana.
Exactly.
That's not us. And Illinois didn't look perfect, but looked a whole lot better than they did the week before. And ultimately, the offense was pretty good.
Yeah, I think I said last week that looking at this game in terms of the schedule, I guess it just does that now. It's cool.
I have to take that off. I don't know how that happened.
I think I said last week that say you had won at Indiana and then come home and somehow lost to USC. I think that coming home off of that loss, coming back and winning, shows a lot more in the national eye. We saw last week just how much hype was around this game. It was a sellout. There was an incredible crowd for Big Noon kickoff and for all of the auxiliary things that went into homecoming weekend. The Oreo Speedwagon show was super fun. I understand a lot of fans couldn't hear it, but I was right in front of them, so I heard it loud and clear. But I think coming off of that, the bounce back has bigger implications than even if you had won last week and come home and won this week, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Obviously, no one wants to lose.
Obviously, you would have preferred that. But
sure. No one wants to lose, but showing that last week may have been a fluke. Maybe Indiana's a lot better than everyone's giving them credit for. And showing that you're capable of bouncing back, I think, has bigger implications.
Yeah, it was the win was needed more, right? Like
yes.
If you win at Indiana and then you lose to USC, you're kind of like, okay, well, we're fine, we'll be all right. But you lost to Indiana and you were like, we can't lose this game now. And so a big win and kind of a lot to unpack from that game. Probably the defense, the area that you feel like maybe there was still more to clean up. Not that the offense was perfect. But
I think you and I were saying to each other on the field, as cool as it was and as fun as it was and as exciting as that is on social media and on the broadcast, it shouldn't have been that close.
Yeah.
It should not have been that close.
Well, Illinois fumbled, whether or not you agree with the first one, but fumbled twice at the goal line. I mean, that's 14 points that are taken off the board. The Caden Fagan fumble, which a lot of people think he was down. The angle that I was filming at is really hard to see. I think it was hard to see from about every camera angle. Maybe that's why they couldn't overturn it because just the difficulty of having a clean shot with so many guys in that space. But a lot of people thought he was down, but then Khalil Valentine fumbled at the goal line. Illinois almost recovered it for a touchdown. Then USC ends up jumping on it, and so that's 14 points that were left on the board.
In slow motion. You and I were standing next to each other. You had a camera, I did not, and I watched it play out in slow motion, like it fall through everybody's
You were
hands.
waiting for like somebody
painful.
get that ball,
yes.
and it like. Glad I was able to resist the instinctual urge to yell ball. When it comes out, but didn't do that since I was filming. But You're right. It probably should have been that close. I think USC's pretty good. Like I thought their offense impressed me. I think Jade Mayava.
I've avoided saying his name on TV because
I think he's good.
Yeah, he's really talented.
Yeah.
I think Lincoln Riley has really found a spot there. Still feels very weird to me that Lincoln Riley is the head coach of the USC Trojans who are playing in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
But I think he's really finding his stride there.
Yeah. That's a good win for Illinois, a bounce back win to say yes, we can beat good teams and I think Duke won big over the weekend, so Illinois' resume gets boosted in that regard a little bit. I think Duke beat Syracuse pretty bad, and Syracuse had beaten Clemson, but Clemson's lost a lot of games, I guess. So.
Yeah.
But it's a good win to say we can beat good teams because there was kind of the uncertainty of, like, is Duke any good? And maybe the Blue Devils are good. Now they just beat Syracuse really badly, but maybe they're not. Maybe they are. We'll find out. But I think we kind of knew that USC was a solid team. If not the best team in the Big 12, I'm not saying that, but they already have two Big 10.
In the Big 12?
I said Big 12 last week, too.
I thought you were trying to say Pac-12, as in to say the old teams.
Yeah. No, I just still have a little Kansas in me, apparently.
Happens.
K-State in me, I guess.
If I came on here and accidentally said SEC instead
that
of
would
Big
maybe
Ten,
be
they would kill me in the street.
A little bit more obvious, yeah. At least I got the big. I got half of it right.
Yeah, sure.
I'll just blame it on realignment. I can't keep up with the numbers here. The Big 17, the Big however many there are.
I think we're the Big 18. And then it's the Pac-4.
Yeah, the Pac-4. But it was a good win for Illinois.
It was. And
amazing. Probably a middle of the pack Big Ten team with USC, and so and good to get the sellout crowd happy and want to come back for the next one.
That's what I was just about to say. All of the auxiliary stuff felt very similar to the Michigan game last year. Beautiful weather. You have big noon kickoff there, which it seems like fans and students just totally embraced. Like I'm sure they tweet this out to everybody, but it was them on Twitter saying, "Thank you, Champaign. We can't wait to come back." Like. And then you have the fan reaction. Say what you will about the field storm, but to get those kids out there. I don't know what you heard, but I heard Alano for president. I heard everything when I was in the middle of the field storm. And I just, obviously what you want is the wins on paper, but for a program that had a really tough moral loss, it's good to have a bounce back like this where you can have national people and your fan base excited about the team again.
Let's talk a little about like what went into that win because a lot to unpack. I mean, you had
and I think it's hard with wins like that to look at anything but the field goal. You know?
Right. Yeah. And I should mention before we move on to like specifics of getting to the field goal. I am an advocate. People say they're only ranked 22, or we should have won that game by more, and we shouldn't have stormed the field. I'm an advocate that the context of how you win matters.
I agree.
And so it's a conference game. It's a good opponent. Illinois was an underdog, but also it's a walk-off game-winning field goal.
I agree.
From 41 yards, I think it was. And so if Illinois wins that, just like scores, Khalil Valentine doesn't fumble and Illinois wins by 14, I don't think people storm the field, and rightfully so. I think that the opponent who you beat certainly matters. If you beat the number one team in the country, you're going to storm no matter how the ending was. If you beat number 20, were they 22? Whatever they were 23.
We were 23, they were 21.
So you beat number 21, you probably don't storm unless you win on a walk-off field goal. Yeah. So the Illinois offense was exciting in a number of ways. An offense that had kind of been, I guess everybody was struggling at Indiana, but the slow starts even dated back to a little bit of Duke, and certainly Western Michigan was not a fantastic start for the Illinois offense. And so great to see. And Courtney, I mean, we talked about the need for this to happen last week, but Illinois ran the football. I mean, 171 rushing yards for Illinois. It was Caden Fagan. It was Khalil Valentine. Aiden Lawfrey got back in the lineup. He didn't play a ton, but he got some carries. And Bielema expects him to be able to do more this week, but Luke Altmaier ran the football, right? And so Luke only gets 28 rushing yards, but that was much more. I think he was only sacked once, but that takes off your rushing total. But Luke Altmaier ran for a touchdown, threw for a touchdown, and caught
received a
touchdown pass from Hank Beatty.
I want to talk about that, but I want to say one more thing about the run game. In a sport that can be so frustrating and have so much coaching from the stands, coaching from the couch. Right. It's very gratifying to say for fans and us to say through 4 weeks Illinois needs to run the ball, and then Illinois runs the ball.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh. That's so satisfying to see it not only work and play out. That's kind of a nah dip, but it's funny to see it pan out. But I mean, no, the Hank Beatty to Luke Altmaier was one of my favorite moments of the entire day. Just, I can't be happier for Hank Beatty, and it makes me wonder. I said this after his first passing touchdown, which is an insane sentence. What else do they have? What else are they keeping from us?
Well, it was funny because when he had the returning and he had the rushing touchdown, and then he had a receiving, and I think somebody had said either to him or to Coach B, like, oh, is he going to throw for one next? And, like, I didn't say anything about it, and this is hindsight, maybe like, oh, I saw that one going. I didn't. I'm not saying that. But I remember thinking, like, his reaction wasn't like, oh, yeah, that would be crazy.
He was like,
it was
we'll
kind of like, yeah, oh, maybe he will. And I was like, wait a minute. Are you kidding or not?
Makes you second guess Bielema getting up there on Saturday and saying, well, I think he should play defense.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Now, if he comes out there at outside linebacker or defensive end, we're going to be like, okay, hold on. Is he not joking around here? So, but it was actually, what was it? Luke to Colin Dixon to Hank Beatty.
Luke to Colin Dixon to Hank Beatty.
And so, that was exciting. A little Philly special in Champaign, Illinois. But Khalil Valentine had a solid day. Caden Fagan had the long touchdown run. Like, it's been a while, I feel like, since we saw him break one like that. He stayed in bounds by about a fraction of an inch.
Go watch the slowed down video on Glenn's Twitter. He literally, there were blades, single blades of fake grass in between his foot and the sideline.
If they laid on a coat too thick of the spray paint for the white line, or if he wore a size 11 instead of a 10.5 or whatever. He probably wears bigger shoes than that. But if he wore a size too big shoes, he was out of bounds on that. So he stayed in bounds. That we hadn't seen, we have seen it, but it's been a while since. I guess it was technically a catch, not a run. But we saw him break away a massive run.
Yeah, we hadn't seen that in a minute from Caden Fagan.
Turned on the Jets, and nobody could catch him. And I think he got good blocks from Colin Dixon and Hank Beatty. And so that was a special play. But Justin Bowick had the touchdown. A couple more catches for Hudson Clement.
Best tweet of the day goes to Glenn Kinley. It's a really funny bit that Justin Bowick only catches touchdowns.
He literally, let me see if I can pull it up now, but
Oh, I said it on TV on Saturday. He has 9 receptions this year. 4 of them have been touchdowns.
Yeah, you're looking at almost half of his catches are touchdowns. And he had a catch at Duke that was called a touchdown and then ruled out at the 1.
So hypothetically,
it would be 5
of
touchdowns
10.
on catches. So it's awesome. I mean, if I were a receiver, that's what I would do. I'd be like, hey, Coach, I'm more of a touchdown guy. Save me for the touchdowns if you don't mind. If I'm not in the end zone, maybe don't throw me the ball, Luke Altmaier.
You know the little kid at the World Series, who says, my name's Big Al and I hit dingers?
Yes. My name's Justin Bowick.
My name's Justin Bowick and I score touchdowns.
It's a heck of a strategy in my opinion. So Illinois now gets ready for a trip to West Lafayette and a matchup that I shouldn't say only, but a matchup that makes you pause because it's Purdue.
Because it's Purdue.
And so not because you think they're that great or if you looked at their record or... And
you can't help but not look at it with pause when you have a new head coach, a proven new head coach like Barry Odom, who basically pulled a Kurt Signetti and picked up his entire roster from Las Vegas and brought them to West Lafayette, which I'm sure was a complete normal culture shift. I'm sure it felt exactly the same.
Yeah, maybe slightly different. Purdue's 2-2, but these games, Illinois-Purdue, tend to not just be easy.
I mean,
last
year,
that's
I think, is the
bias
perfect...
off last year, but yeah, Illinois was up 28 at halftime.
Yes.
21-28. That was not a game, and all of a sudden it went to overtime. That was just a crazy game. Purdue is 2-2, beat Southern Illinois and Ball State, lost by 16, quick math, to USC at home, and then went to Notre Dame and lost by 26. Purdue had a bye week last week, so they have had 2 weeks to prepare for Illinois. Whether or not that makes a difference, I guess we'll see. But it's a big game because it's kind of a little rivalry game, and a big game in general because
Trophy games are always
legit.
No matter how good or bad either team is, it's a trophy game. Anything can happen. We saw that last year. This was a very similar situation last year. Walters had come in, Jay tried to change this team, and it didn't end up panning out. But still, you forced this incredible game against Illinois at Illinois. So whenever the guys on this team know how big of a deal the trophy games are, and Brett Bielema had an incredible soundbite about trophy games that I put out yesterday. We're recording on Tuesday, so yesterday, Monday. Because, when he was at Wisconsin, that Axe game is everything. And so he knows, having come up through the Big Ten and then, being at Arkansas, this is my bias. They played for the boot against LSU. Like, he knows how big of a deal these games are. It can be very easily said that trophy games are fluffy. I say that as somebody who had to watch a lot of really bad trophy games between Kentucky and Louisville when I was growing up. But anything can happen in these because everybody knows how high the stakes are.
I want to say, I feel like we didn't zero in on every note of the game, and we maybe talked more about the actual game itself last week at IU. I don't want to frustrate people and be like, we lost by 50 and you're going to talk about it, but now you're going to move on to Purdue really quickly. Okay, Courtney and we don't necessarily make this is not a TV newscast where we make a rundown of how long should we spend on each topic. Yeah, it's just, we just get up here and we yap, all right? And so, but one thing we have to mention is the O-line. We talked about Illinois running the ball, but we were hard on the O-line. I think everybody was. Everybody was like, the O-line is not good enough. What the heck is going on? They returned 5 starters. This is ridiculous, blah, blah, blah. The O-line responded in a massive way against USC. Illinois was able to run the ball. Luke Altmaier, I think, only got sacked one time. That was a USC team that I believe was leading the conference, if not the country, in sacks. That's a good defensive front. That's a talented group. So that was I don't know if it was a change of scheme or what they asked those guys to do, or a change of mindset, or a change of heart, whatever it was. That O-line responded in a massive way. I wanted to make sure that, and I don't think we were disrespecting them. We were just talking about the facts. But I wanted to make sure that we shouted them out as much as we maybe were honest when they weren't good, that we were also honest when they were really good.
It was great yesterday, Monday, when Brett Bielema got up for his weekly press conference and in nicer, more professional words said, you guys thought the O-line was bad?
Yeah.
Fixed it.
Yeah. So we'll see. Illinois needs to kind of carry that momentum forward. Now you have to we talked about making sure the Indiana game was a fluke. Now you have to make sure the USC game was not a fluke. And so we're going to take a break here, and then we'll come back. We're going to talk a little bit more Illini, different sports, and then we'll probably, if we have time, talk a little bit of high school football at the end of the show. So stick with us. We'll talk probably volleyball after this break. All right, welcome back. A really good weekend, Courtney, for Illinois volleyball. I have 2 timers going. There's a timer over here. And
I love to play Insider Baseball.
It times our show, and now when I hit to insert the commercial break, I have multiple timers. I don't know. They're not on the same time
More Insider
either.
Baseball, by the way. For us, the commercials are 2 seconds. So we go, okay.
The commercials are 2 seconds. They get inserted afterwards. But now I have 2 timers. I don't know which one I actually should be paying attention to because they're 20 seconds different from each other. So, anyways, Illinois volleyball had a big weekend. It was actually a really big weekend. Starting on Friday, a win against Oregon would have been really good. That's a good Oregon team.
Oregon team that was receiving votes.
Yeah, and I think we were like, why are they not ranked? Because they were, what were they?
They were 9-1.
9-1. That Oregon team probably should have been ranked, and Illinois didn't just beat them, they swept them. That was an impressive win, and then you go on the road to another ranked team at West Lafayette against Purdue and win that. Was it 4 sets? Was it 5?
Yes, it was 4 sets.
4 sets.
In that last one, they were down by 5 in the final set, 22-17, and rallied to come back and win the set. And I want to throw out there, I think there's something to be said, here at Illinois, volleyball team plays in Huff, right? At Purdue, they play volleyball in Mackey. Mm-hmm. So it's not like you're under the lights.
Yeah.
It's a big arena. Even if it's not full, you're playing to a huge crowd.
Yeah.
And to go in there and win over a 10th ranked Purdue team. Mm-hmm. Incredible for
You mentioned the comeback at Purdue. I believe it was set 1 against Oregon. They ended the set on something like a 13-2 run. It was like they were down 23-12 or 23-13 or something like that.
And I've even seen that in the matches I've been to. Last weekend I watched them take on Eastern Illinois, a really talented Eastern Illinois team led by a new head coach who's really come in and reinvigorated that program. And they had to rally a few times in that. And, it's not always what you don't want to always be coming from behind. But it's still really cool to see that they have proven now through time and time again that they're not faced.
This is a team that knew it was going to have growing pains. And Chris Thomas talked about like that difficult non-conference schedule, and some people surely would have loved to get him a few more wins in non-conference. But like, okay, people were upset when they lost to South Dakota State, who was an NCAA tournament team last year, and went like 27-2 or something like that. And people are like, we're Illinois, they're South Dakota State, we should win. I get that, but also like maybe some of that stuff is paying off right now in the form of they played Vanderbilt, they played South Dakota State, they played number 3 Louisville, and this young team that could have gotten into Big Ten play and just been shocked because you have some freshmen or transfers and stuff that are like, holy crap, this is another level of volleyball. But now they're getting into Big Ten play and saying, okay, we've been battle tested, we've gone through this stuff. And we talked about it last week, and this is exactly what they did, but like the team was at a point where it was competing with good teams. Illinois won a set at Louisville and then needed to take that step from, okay, we can hang in there with these good teams to we can beat these good teams. And that's what they did over the weekend. So,
and I want to take a moment to highlight Kenna Phelan. She was named Big Ten Setter of the Week this week. The really first one for Illinois to get that honor in 4 seasons. And she's a transfer. She was at Florida State. I can't say I know off the top of my head how the Seminoles are as a program, but that's still ACC volleyball.
She played a lot there. Like
at
she
a
was
high
their assist
level.
leader. Yeah.
Yes, and she is doing so well through here at Illinois. I think they're only through 11 or 12 games. She's got 4 double-doubles. She averaged 9 kills through those last 2 games. She's just on fire, and it's so exciting to see that. Getting high-level transfers is one thing, implementing them is another. We're seeing Chris Thomas do that.
Yeah. Her stats were crazy because of the assist number she was averaging, and then you factor in that one of those matches over the weekend only went 3 sets, and the other match only went 4 sets. So, like, those would have been impressive assist numbers had she played 10 sets, and she played 7. Quickly, before we go to another break, soccer, 1-1 last week, beat Penn State, really big home-ranked win.
I mean, I didn't make it out there, but I really wanted to come out to that one just as a fan, because seeing what Katie Holtein has done on this young season is just incredible. To take out number 8 Penn State at home. Unfortunately, it then comes with this 3-0 loss to Ohio State. That was still a good performance from Illinois.
Right.
They just didn't get the ball in the net, and so you hope they can turn it around. I can't say I know what's next for them. Do you have
I'm trying to pull that up right now. Let's see if the old station Wi-Fi comes through clutch for us here.
And even despite the loss, it was a great crowd out there at Demerjen on Sunday, even though it was 400,000 degrees. There were a lot of people out there. It's always, I love that sports like that at Illinois are free, like softball and baseball, because it's a great opportunity to bring kids in the community out there. And number 1, it's something free you can take your kids to do. Number 2, you're building young fans of the sport and of the program. So it's something that has always made me smile in my time at Illinois, because this is the first school I've been at that has free admission to programs like that.
Illinois women's soccer this week doesn't play till Sunday at Maryland, and then they get Rutgers at home next week, October 9th. So quick break here, a little high school football talk on the other side of this, then we will sign off. All right, welcome back. Our Spotlight Game of the Week features what looks like right now one of the best teams in our viewing area in Arthur Lovington Atwood Hammond. If you're wondering, if you're an Illini fan watching this, and you're like, what is he talking about?
The Fighting Caden Fagans.
Caden Fagans High School, Arthur Lovington Atwood Hammond. We're talking high school football.
What did Bielema say about Fagan?
240 pounds of love from Ala High School is what Bielema said about that Caden Fagan touchdown, which was awesome. So,
it was awesome.
The Knights are undefeated and beat a good, I believe it was Sullivan last week. That was a big win. I think they were both undefeated. And so, and then Arcola's in like a different spot. That's who they're playing this week. Arcola is a team that like has a lot of history as a program, has not had the results this year, and almost didn't have a season this year. Almost didn't have a season this year due to numbers, and so they're co-oping this year. And so it's an interesting matchup. I'm excited to feature, regardless of the game, and like maybe it ends up being a close game, maybe it's not. I'm excited to feature both of these programs because I think there's a lot to unpack and some valuable stories on both of those.
I'm leaving this podcast and going out to Arcola, and I'm really looking forward to talking to them and hearing about, what went on behind the scenes in those last weeks of July, first weeks of August to get them to this point. And think it just is a testament to small town football.
Yeah,
which
it's valuable.
I don't know about you. I don't know if we've ever had this conversation, but it's one of my favorite things about our job.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. I grew up going to like a high school football game every Friday with my dad, and it wasn't just like, oh, the high school that me or my sister went to. It was literally like my dad would get in the newspaper and find like the best matchup in the area. We basically had our own game of the week. My dad and I did growing up, but we would go to
Kinley
a game
family
every
game
Friday.
of the week.
Yeah,
sponsored by Casey's Pizza.
Yes, precisely. Yeah. Quick shout outs to some other teams that are impressive in our area. I'm gonna miss somebody. I'm sorry. I didn't make a list. I'm just rattling off the top of my head. Maroa Forsyth has been really good. Westville in the VVC looks terrific. The Tigers of Westville. Glenwood has been good. Rochester's been good. Mount Zion has been good.
Here in our backyard, Unity has been really good.
Yeah, Unity looks legitimate. I think Unity lost to Bloomington Central Catholic, and people were like, "Oh, is Unity new head coach?" Like, and then they beat SJO. Like, controlled that game from start to finish. And SJO is a really good team too. We can mention them, right? And so, a lot of good teams. We'll continue to keep you covered on the high school, football, volleyball, soccer, girls flag football, all that stuff, and then the Illini. All those. I don't think they have girls flag football at Illinois, but if they did, we would cover it. All right, we're going to cover it.
I would be at every
all.
game with bells
Yeah.
on, man.
Well, we appreciate you joining us. She's Courtney. I'm Glenn, and we will see you back here again next week.